Our guest is Mr. Louis Bono, Secretary Blinken's senior advisor for Caucasus negotiations. Thank you for this opportunity. Your first visit to the region is taking place at a difficult time. The Lachin corridor has been blocked for about 3 months, and the Armenian side reported about Azerbaijani bloody sabotage in Karabakh. But on the other hand, Baku speaks about reintegration and warns of taking even tougher and more drastic steps if Karabakh refuses to integrate. So my question is this the kind of direct negotiation that Washington is advocated for? I mean, is it possible to reach peace in this atmosphere in this way?
Carlin, I arrived in Baku on Sunday evening, and I was greeted as I got off the plane with the very disturbing news of the tragedy that occurred in Nagorno-Karabakh. But for me, it only reinforced the need of my mission, the importance of my mission, the need to end this conflict. We see no other way forward, that we need to work closely with the parties, with the leaders of both Armenia and Azerbaijan, to forge a peace that is going to be durable and balanced.
Would you consider the discussion between Stepanakert and Baku, mediated by Russia, as the beginning of the necessary dialogue?
I'm not in a position to comment on a dialogue that's mediated by the Russian Federation.
In that case, is the United States ready to act as a mediator in the dialogue between Baku and Stepanakert, and if so, in what capacity?
Our role in this process is not to serve as a mediator. We are not here to impose language, to impose conditions on any of the parties. What we are trying to do is to facilitate a peace, and what I mean by that is we want the parties to develop the language, to develop the conditions, to accept them together. They need to work this out amongst themselves, because any peace that is going to be durable, sustainable and balanced has to come from the parties. It cannot come from a third party, an outside party.
But let me remind that during the last several months, Yerevan insists that the most important issue is addressing the security and human rights of the Armenians living in Karabakh. So is Washington considering establishing a mechanism to ensure that? And again, if so, what are the potential options?
We think this is very important. I don't dismiss that. In order to have a peace agreement that is going to be sustainable, durable, and balanced, it has to include Nagorno-Karabakh. And we are committed to seeing this through. We recognize the importance of that.
Mm-hmm. But can you mention some mechanism?
I'm not in a position now to discuss the mechanism. I mean, I have just been in this position for a few weeks now. This is my first trip to the region, and I'm engaging with my first talks with the parties post-Munich.
And when you say that Karabakh problem will be reflected in peace treaty, I wonder if Washington or parties, Yerevan and Baku, have any idea how it will happen.
First of all, Nagorno-Karabakh will be part of the peace process. I think both parties have recognized this. But as I stated earlier, we are not here to impose conditions or terms for any type of agreement or arrangement. It's important for the parties to do this, and we will work with both parties. I do note that President Aliyev said in Munich that he would designate somebody to engage with Karabakhi representatives. And I believe this has already taken place last week. And in the discussions I've had with him, he indicated that he is prepared to continue these discussions. So we are optimistic that we can work with the parties towards this, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a lot of hard work and commitment on all sides.
I see. Russia is constantly criticizing Washington's and European Union's involvement, perceiving it is an attempt to, maybe marginalize its presence in the region. Do you see any possibilities for collaboration with Russia on this matter, and taking into account that the fact that the Minsk group basically doesn't function?
We are willing to work with any and all parties who are committed to moving this process forward. I have reached out to my Russian counterpart on the Minsk group, as a matter of fact. And I'm not going to make any comment. We're not here to criticize parties. We're not here to address any other geopolitical issues. I am here to help both Armenia and Azerbaijan find a solution to this conflict. We need to bring this to an end. That is why I'm here.
Are you ready to meet with Russian co-chair Mr. Khovaev also?
I'm ready to meet with anybody who is willing to work with me, with the United States, in advancing this process. As I said, we have no broader agenda here in the region. It's only to promote peace. This conflict has gone on too long. Too many people have suffered. Too many people have died. It needs to come to an end.
Coming back to Lachin corridor, despite the decision of the International Court of Justice and many international appeals, including from Washington, Azerbaijan has not opened it. Are there any solution to this problem that will work?
We have stressed this. Secretary Blinken made clear in Munich when he met with both parties, and I think he said this publicly, that the Lachin corridor should be free and open for commercial and private transportation.
Unfortunately, the appeals don't work.
We will continue to press this matter.
What about imposing sanctions on Baku?
This is not a time for sanctions. I am here to work with both parties to lead them towards a peace. Sanctions would be counterproductive. It's not even under consideration at this point.
After the talks with leadership you had in Yerevan and in Baku, what message will you deliver to Washington?
I will convey to Washington that there are prospects here for peace, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to involve commitments by both sides. It's going to involve leaps of faith by both sides, that they need to be able to establish trust in their counterpart, trust that they will fulfill their commitments, trust in the fact that they are committed to peace. This is what we're working towards. It's not going to be an easy process, but I'm confident. Otherwise, I would not be here.
But you can notice that the sides want peace.
Yes.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.